Add me, take out the tomato. Here we go. We're good. Oh, this is even better. Here we go. Still getting this thing set up properly. This way we have it at the right height, the right time, the right lighting too. Look at that. We're going to change around a little bit. What are we waiting for? Seriously, what are we waiting for? How important is it to wait until things are right? Things are perfect. Things absolutely line up 100%. Do we ever want it? No. Do we want it to be 100%? Yeah, I would tend to think we do want it to be 100%. But the question, will it ever be 100%? And the answer is no. It'll never be 100%. Here's the logic for that one. And here's why. And I think you'll agree. Doug, Mr. King, good afternoon to you, my friend. Will it ever be 100%? Especially for those that are always looking to achieve and build? Nah, it's really not. Maybe that's where it gets frustrating for those of us that, are looking for that to achieve something, but then when we achieve it, maybe we want to do a little bit more. Maybe we see things a little bit differently as we continue on. Maybe we're never happy. That's not really it. And this somehow ties in with the name change and the rest of that stuff because it's a constant change. And here's why maybe we're never happy, but we really should be. Then I'm looking in the mirror on this one. Because we're aiming for something, we actually build it. Then we think about it. It's like, maybe if I did it a little bit differently this way, or as we're continuing on, we continue to change it and it continues to morph. Well, if it always continues to morph, do we ever get to where we're supposed to go? Well, no, not really, because we constantly change. So if we constantly change and we never really achieve that quote unquote original goal, can we ever be happy? Damn. Need a psychologist for this one, psychiatrist for this one, strategist for this one, someone in business planning, someone in marketing, somebody in brand development, somebody with a set goal, somebody who could figure out what that end goal is. Nah. I think for those that want to continue to achieve, continue to improve, that end goal is never really there. It's always the conquering. I think it's the conquering. I think it's the developing that really is the exciting part for most of us. How do I build something? Once it's built, okay. Once it's together, okay. Then we either change it or we move on to something else. So it's constantly moving in a direction that's forward. Serial entrepreneurs, why are they called serial? It's because they keep on doing. Build something, sell it, move on to something else, conquer something else. That's exciting, if you like that. And maybe you like the tried and true and just same same thing day in and day out. Maybe some minor changes along the way, but sometimes it needs to be a little bit more exciting than that. I find with myself, some facets of my life and maybe straightforward day after day, and that kind of thing, but then kind of get bored to continue to change. So the idea came up with the name change. Instead of tomato talk, top of mind, advancing through opportunities or advancement through opportunities. And I always get that wrong. Is it advancing or advancement? And maybe that's because I'm never really dead set on the name. I was looking for something that was unique. I like the idea of the using the letters to create a sentence, tomato, top of mind, advancement through opportunities. Look, I think that's really important. But I know in the back of my mind, every time I say that, most of us don't advance through opportunities. Most of us push ourselves forward through different challenges. Maybe it's turning challenges into opportunities. No. Just can't get excited about that name, but definitely the core of so many people. The core of so many people that really achieve something and achieve something great, it's because they've gone through some negative something that steered them in some sort of a direction. Could be they've had absolutely everything taken away from them completely, and the only thing they have is their ability to communicate. So you become a speaker and then use whatever resources you have in order to get to that. Perhaps you've grown up in an environment, where manufacturing, building things, the automotive environment has always been a part of your life, always been something you grew up with. Maybe that's it. Could be those in the religious industry. And by gosh, let's not kid ourselves. That's an industry itself. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of living. It's a career path. For many, if you grow up in a religious family, you're probably going to have that. Definitely going to have that as a major factor, positive or negative factor. Move away from it. Don't move away from it. Whatever it is, but that's going to be something that's going to influence you greatly, especially if it's something that's like really a part of your lifestyle or really part of your family's lifestyle. And the same thing can hold true in any industry across the board. But it could be that factor that really pushes you in a direction to change. Maybe your family grew up on a farm, you've been on a farm, or your family's been on a farm for hundreds of years, and you're like, you just don't want to do it. You just hate getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever time to go and do farm work. Yeah, you're like, there's no way. Then you're going to find any opportunity to make that change. Reality is, I don't think most of us live in any kind of an extreme environment like that. I think most of us live in some sort of environment where we grow up comfortable, things are okay, and we just kind of go. Maybe we grow up in an environment, we just assume that whatever it is, and that's just the way it goes. Oh yeah, this is what we've been doing. This is what I do, and I'm fine. I'm comfortable. Getting by. Things are okay. How many times do you speak to people like that? Maybe some of them are just flat out happy with that. Don't like making changes. Many others, not, not looking to make some sort of a change. So, look, under this side of things, I was looking to make this thing a little bit better than what it is, make it a lot better actually than what it is. I've been doing a bunch of these kinds of things now for a while and having a good time doing it and all the rest of that. But I really do want to have guests on. I do want to have it seen or heard, or seen and heard, in a broader audience. So always open to suggestions as to how to make that happen, and see how it goes. See what can be done, dealing with whatever variables that I got to deal with and make it go that way. So someone had suggested a new name. Did I listen? Without a doubt. Always listen. Always should listen to hear about changes, hear about how other people see things. You can see what it is that they have on their mind. Maybe it's something unique. No matter what, it's somebody else's point of view on something, which really cuts to be consistent on the why you should listen to people when it comes to your brand. I know how you perceive you, or you know how you perceive you, but how do others perceive you? Do they see you as a happy-go-lucky person? Do they see you as the serious one? Do they see what you're doing is a waste of time? And maybe they won't even say anything on that. But if somebody comes to you with an idea, that means they're thinking about it. There's been some thought process that went along with it, and somehow, for some reason, you're on their mind. It's not a bad thing. You may not agree with what they say, and that's all well and good, but I think you should definitely appreciate those comments that come through from everybody. Definitely appreciate the comments. Listen to the comments. Understand where they're coming from, and then kind of take it from there. So the suggestion that came to me instead of Tomato Talk, which they found to be cute, was what's going on instead of what's going on, what's going on to play off my last name. I don't know if that's cute, got a ring to it, memorable. I don't know. Wanted to float it out this way, see what the thought process was, over here. Got mixed emotions on it, because don't know if I really want to use my name in the title of it, especially if I want to have guests on. If it's just me talking, then maybe that is an appropriate name. What's going on or going on in my world? That's a topic that I probably have discussed ad nauseum certainly over the past year or two, with different things, my thoughts on different things. But I want to have guests on, and I don't know if it's really the right name. And maybe that tomato talk really is it. How do our guests move continually forward? Just maybe make it clearer in the title. Maybe use those keywords a little bit more so it could be found. I'd Google it once in a while, tomato talk, and a lot of plants. It's all about tomatoes, the actual tomato, not this tomato. You throw in a few other names in there, like my name, and yeah, it comes up, but more of an effort, in that respect. So it's interesting, but it's appreciated. And it's really the point of today's thought process, the discussion over there, is that how do people perceive you? What's in a name? What is in the name of your company that describes your company, that portrays your image, that people will understand instead of what is that about? And that's a constant question I get with Tomato Talk. What's it about? At least there's an interest, so that's good. And then I have the tomato there as the front of it, and like it really looks like we're talking about tomatoes. So that may not be the best thing in the world. So it's a thought as to where we're going, with this thing for the 2023 year, as that one goes. That is definitely a thought. So use that as the example for your own efforts that are out there. What is your effort, and is your effort clear to others that don't really have the opportunity to speak with you and to speak with you directly? That's a question. It's a good question. I like to work with people, speak to people, about, the podcasting and getting that whole thing. But that means that somebody's on the site already. That means that somebody's on your Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube page already. That's not the marketing of it. That's the consistency of it. So I always looked at that being that if you did a podcast, what are you doing? You're adding to your credibility, which is really the bottom line. If you're doing it in order to promote your business or build your brand, use your voice to build your brand, build your business, and that kind of thing. But that means somebody's there already. Somebody's there already. So that photo that you use to explain the show or your website or your business, the name of your business, the name of your show, the logo, all that means quite a bit. Very important. Getting an outside opinion on that makes a whole lot of sense. Getting a professional outside opinion will give you the knowledge that you need when it comes to the correct font to use, because every font has a different meaning with it, subliminal meaning that's in there. The colors also have different meanings. There was a website that I took a look at, and it was very pastel colors. They were not bold colors at all. It was very soft colors. I actually found it a little bit hard to read as well. It just wasn't engaging. And forget about content. It just wasn't really engaging. So if I ran across it, it was kind of bored right to begin with. It wasn't eye-catching. It didn't keep me there, in any respect. So that was the thing. If it was bold colors, I would have thought that the person behind it, the company behind it, would have been bold. Bottom line, would have been bold. So working with somebody that's going to help you come up with the right colors, the right font for your name of the company and for your promotional pieces and things like that is super important. Super important. Keeping it consistent across the board. Super important. That clear message. It's absolutely everything. So I don't know if we're hitting that clear message over here. And that's the look in the mirror on that one. But certainly, once you have people on board, you have people that are listening to you. I definitely believe that these podcasts, however you deliver it out, whether it's through just Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Spotify, or any of the other places that are out there. And I took a look on Donna Drake's page, Drake Media Network. She's on so many different platforms, and it's just like there probably like 15 or 20 of them on there, where that show gets broadcast out. Besides on TV, so there's so many different places for you to put your programming out there. That's great. Your reach could be so many across the world. I mean, really easy across the world. Time zones means nothing. People listening live or recorded or the recorded version means nothing. Means absolutely nothing. But what does mean something is how do you get their attention? How do you get their attention? And that's where the name becomes really, really important. The name, the font, the color scheme, all the rest of that. You might have a little bit more space to work with when you can throw in a tagline. That was the thought process over here. And maybe that's what does it. But it depends upon the platform you have. All that stuff is certainly a factor that gets tossed into the equation. So what's the end goal? How do you reach an end goal when you're constantly trying to improve something? You never really do. You never really do, because the reach is always something that you want to continue to expand upon. You want to build a business, that's great. You get to a certain level, and then you want to grow it more. You want to continue to keep on growing. You want to continue to keep on doing more. You want to continue to improve upon what it is that you're doing. And sometimes that improvement is just getting that project done in a shorter, more efficient use of your time, which frees you up to do other things. Perhaps it frees you up to do absolutely nothing. Just go for a walk. Do nothing. And I feel that in with do a walk. I guess that's not doing nothing, but doing something else. Perhaps it's taking it to that next level, growing it a little bit further. Perhaps it's a matter of building something and then letting it test it and letting it go, selling it, move on to something else. It changes. It all depends on people. I find with some of my projects working on, it is a matter of morphing into something else. And if we could do this, then maybe we could do that. And if we can coordinate with different people, then it could even become that much more. And then how many different people are looking to develop and deliver, that same message? So when it comes to the podcasting side of life, is a certain category of people that are looking for different ways in order to get that message out in a time efficient, very big on that, in a time efficient, cost effective manner. That's it. And there's these folks out there with unlimited budgets, want to know something, all well and good. I've taken a look at some of the podcasts that are out there, and it's like phenomenal, just really phenomenal. And to think those people do it without any effort, huh, not the case. Or without any support, absolutely not the case. Absolutely not the case. If you've got the funds in order to do it, or you need it to be done in a certain way, and it's a corporate look, and basically comes down to budgeting, then you know what? Then really there's so many different places to go and do and to make it work. Still, even within that realm, the folks that I work with that have the studios are doing it in a cost-effective manner. can be done. Can be done. But each one of these people and everything that gets done is by people that are looking to continue on and continue to make that improvement. I fall into the same category. And why not? And I know you do too. How do you continue on this path to achieve? And of course, the question that comes along with that one too is like, how do you stay happy along the way? It's those little goals. It's got to be those little goals. What did I accomplish today? What got done? How is it that, it's because if you always meet and see and talk to people, it's like, oh, if we do this, we could do that. And then nothing ever gets done, completed. And then it gets frustrating. But if you could look at those smaller steps, and I look in the mirror here before we get any comments, so floating out. But if you take a look at those smaller steps along the way and see what has transpired and where you've been and where you are now, or those smaller goals that you want to achieve by next week, I want to do this, and by next month, I want to do that. Then you want something, then there is something to be happy about because you're achieving along the way. And that becomes how you stay in the game, just as well. So make it work that way. All right, look, keep going, keep moving forward. Love to hear your thoughts about the name. Who knows? Maybe we'll call it What's Going On in the future. Stick with Tomato Talk, make it a little bit clearer. But no matter what, we're going to continue to improve any which way that we possibly can. And I hope you do exactly the same thing. So remember, speak well, speak often, and live inspired.